Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Follow me had about 2 classes before also.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. This one? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. What if you remove this fully just then? Can you try that? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Better? Volume is max, bro. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Jai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaur Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Mataji. So we'll start. Sorry, got late. We'll start with the prayers. चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सार्वजातं सरगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण सरगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। नित्यानंद वसुद प्राण वल्लभ जानव जीवित पदिहि कृष्ण प्रेम पद प्रभु पद्मावती शुत श्रीमान सचिनंदन पूर्वजः भावोन्मक्त जगत्राता रक्त गौर कलेवरः। नमो नमो अनिरुद्धाय ऋषिकेशियान्द्रियात्मने नमः परमहंसाय पूर्णाय निभृतात्मने स्वर्गापवर्गद्वाराय नित्यं शुचि सदे नमः। नमो हिरण्यवीराय चातुर्होत्राय कांतवे। Hare Krishna. How is everybody? After long break, 1 minute. I'll just. 1 minute. 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 Okay, so everybody is able to hear me? Okay. So I think we are meeting after what, 2 weeks? Yeah, so we took a summer break. Looks like before summer. So I think we would need a lot of will to continue our program in summer, because there will be a lot of programs which can disturb the schedule, because there are a lot of programs usually in summer, weekends, and even weekdays. For example, next week we will not have Bhakti Vriksha, because next Friday few of us, including me, we will be in New Vrindavan for 24 hours Kirtan. I was thinking that we will do on Thursday, but then I saw email today morning about Thursday program. So we'll have Madhav Prabhu's program, Kirtan, Madhav Prabhu's Kirtan at Ramnam Prabhu's house on Thursday. So I was thinking then it's better we will just cancel next week, because devotees will be going on Thursday program, then again doing Wednesday. I don't think it makes sense. So we will meet 2 weeks from now. So I was planning to actually complete the 7th chapter. We have only last 2 verses now remaining in 7th chapter, and then we will start. I will try to start chapter 8. So what I was thinking, maybe it is a good idea, we will just summarize chapter 7, then finish those last 2 verses and go to chapter 8. Is that okay? Reduce more. So what is that? And this will be a question and answer session also. It's an open book. It's an open book quiz. So please participate. So what is the 7th chapter's title? Knowledge of the Absolute. So what exactly that means? This whole chapter provides information about Krishna, information about Absolute Truth. Okay. And if you remember, when we started this chapter, we discussed about 3 parts of Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 1 to 6, then the middle part, and then 13 to 18. So middle part is very, very important. We got an example of sandwich. If you remember, you never say Hare Krishna. You never say that bread sandwich. What do you say? You say either cheese sandwich or vegetable sandwich. So whatever is in that bread, that is what we call as sandwich. Like this, the 6th chapter are very, very important. This middle 6th chapter. So it starts with knowledge of the Absolute. So we had multiple section on this. Yeah, we'll just go over on that. So chapter 7, verse 1. Maybe somebody can read the translation. So those who are joining now, we are actually summarizing chapter 7, because there are 2 verses, last 2 verses of chapter 7, and we will summarize and we'll try to finish the chapter 7 with those last 2 verses remaining, and I will try to start chapter 8 today. Okay. So anybody want to read the first verse? Very good. So, very important. Krishna is telling now here. Right? So, what verse 1, 2, and 3 is telling about hear about Krishna. What we need to do, we need to just hear. By hearing what will happen, we will know about Krishna. That is what verse 1 to 3 is saying. Now, verse 4 to 12 is very important part. What if you start with verse 4, anybody wants to read this translation? Translation of verse 4. Correct. And the fifth one says, besides these, O mighty arm Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises of the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. So these verses, verse number 4 to 12 is talking about material nature and spiritual nature. So who is the source of this material nature and spiritual nature? Krishna. Krishna is the source of both. That is what he is telling in this. Right? Also he is saying in these verses, we are seeing that if we want to see Krishna, then we can see Krishna in this material world or material nature and spiritual nature both. By understanding he is the source. So that will remind us that Krishna is behind everything. Also there is another important point we covered in this. I'll just try to find. Yeah, if you see 9 says, I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat in fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penances of ascetics. In fact, I should read 8. Sorry, so 8 we will read. O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, and the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in man. So what is this point? First point was Krishna is source of everything. And what is the second point? I am taste in water. So what is taste in water? The essence of water. What is the light in sun? Because that is the main thing what sun is giving. So like that, Krishna is not only source, he is the essence of everything, spiritual and material. And this is what chapter 7 to 12 says. Okay. Now 13 and 14 are telling about the modes and telling about that he is the controller of these modes. So 13 says, deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. And it says 14, this divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So very important. So what is the instruction? Surrender unto me. Then only we can overcome these modes of material nature. Otherwise it's very, very difficult. They are so powerful, nobody in the world can overcome them. And if somebody is telling, no, I am beyond this, then he is actually out of his mind. He or she is out of his mind. So that is 13 and 14. Now 15 to 19, we are summarizing. So verse 15 to 19 is very interesting because we covered 4 kinds of people, those never surrender Krishna. So who are those? You can read the translation. Somebody can read the translation of 15. Very good. So what we said, Mudhas, Naradhamas, Maya Parhata, Jnanis, means they are just trying to get the knowledge but under illusion, and Asuras, atheists. So these are the 4 people who never come to Krishna, and then there are 4 pious people who come to Krishna. Who are those? Very nice. So distressed, we got examples. If you remember, who was the example of distressed? Who was in distress and he actually prayed to Krishna for help. Gajendra. Then we took example of Jitnyasu, which is inquisitive? Who was inquisitive? Four Kumaras or Shaunak Rishi? Right? Hare Krishna. And then Artharthi, which is desirer of the wealth, Dhruva Maharaj. Yes, because he wanted a planet bigger, higher than his father. And then Gyanis. So example of Gyanis was Sukadeva Goswami. So out of these, and then further it says, out of these, who is the most or best? Who is the best in out of these four? Gyani, correct. You want books? I think books are backside. Ask Sudhakar Prabhu, he was distributing. So Gyanis, why it is? So whoever is in kitchen, Prabhu, because Prabhu, call them, because this is very important, otherwise we will not able to connect to chapter 8. So who is the best? Gyani. Why he is the best? Lord is what? Lord is dear to Gyanis. And they are dear to. Okay. Not quite right. Actually, the reason is because the other pious people, if you see, they want something. They expect something, correct, right word. But Gyanis want to just know more about Lord. So they are kind of a Mishra Bhakta, Dhyana Mishra Bhakta. So they wanted to know more about Lord, understand more about Lord. Okay. So that is what we are doing. Now, what is important in that? Right? What we discussed about that. Maybe that point we will discuss, because that point we discussed 2 times. So let's discuss that again afterwards. Then the next section was 720 and 725. So we talked about surrendering, because in 7:15 to 19 we discussed about surrendering to Krishna. Then obviously the question comes, those who don't surrender to Krishna, what happens? So those who surrender to demigods, what happens to them? That's correct. They go to the presiding planet of that particular demigod. So if somebody is worshipping, say, moon, they will go to moon planet. Somebody is worshipping sun, will go to sun planet. Somebody is worshipping Brahma, then he will Brahma. Yeah, so that is the second point. In this, that also there is impersonalist. So there are 2 things. One is who follow demigods, and then second is impersonalist. Let me see if we can read the verse. Yeah, so verse 24, if you can read, Prabhu. 7:24, Sudhakar Prabhu is. So they never know Krishna, and what happened to them? They actually merge into the effulgence of Krishna, the impersonalist. Merge, because they never think Krishna as a person. So they don't have that relation with Krishna. They never understand Krishna. That is the next verse also. Krishna says that Naham prakasham sarvasya yoga maya samavrtaha mudhoya nabhijanati loko mam avyayam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and unfallible. So they never know about Krishna in this. And all these, both who are following demigods and who are actually impersonalists, they are foolish. That is what is mentioned. Why they are called as foolish? Anybody? Krishna? Okay, but why foolish? Why they are called foolish? Because if you see demigods, following of demigods, what happens? What is it? Yeah, they get. So they end. Material, and other thing is, what happens to material world? Perish. It will end. So even if they go to that planet, what will happen to that planet? The planet will end. The planet will be destroyed when the material world will be destroyed. So what is the use getting something which is going to be destroyed? That's the reason they are called as foolish. Now the important part comes, is the last portion of this chapter, 726 to 730. Okay. So let's see 726. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. 27. Because now important point comes, right? Once we 26, Krishna is able to know everything. He knows about everything, but what about the living entities? Why living entity is not able to know? Why living entity is forgetful? That is what this point is. So 27 says, O Scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. That is what we saw. So what are the two things which are actually putting living entities in bewilderment? Living entities in duality. What are those? Raga. No, sorry, desire and hate. Right? Yes, we discussed about Maya. Good, you remember. So we discussed about Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. So what happens? That is what we discussed. Lot of things we discussed, and important was 28. So let's build up on that. 27 we discussed a lot, because we now, if we know what is the disease, then we will actually take a medicine to cure the disease. So disease was this duality. This duality, why it happens? Because of Yoga Maya. Because of Mahamaya. Yoga Maya for devotees, Mahamaya for everybody else. How it works? We took example of cloud. If you remember, cloud builds, but it doesn't cover Krishna. It covers only the living entities. If you remember the example of cloud we took, cloud is, because of cloud we are not able to see sun. But does that mean sun is not there? Yeah. So sun is there. It is not stopping sun, but is stopping our vision. Then we took an example, if you remember, the bottle cap. Okay. If the sun is there and if you keep bottle cap far from you, what happens? You will be able to see sun. But as you are bringing it closer and closer and closer to your eyes, what will happen? You will not able to see. So if we are closer to material existence, if we are closer to the material things, then we will not be able to see Krishna. Now, who can take us away from this? How a living entity moves away from this bewilderment? That is what we wanted to see. That is what is the 28. In fact, 28, 29, 30 talks about that, but 28 talks specifically about the Punyatma. So So let's talk. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. So Prabhupada here says, actually, this doesn't happen just because of somebody's punya karma in the past. There is one other element is there, the important element. Anyone remembers? What was the important element? We talked about Srila Prabhupada last time, if you remember. Correct. So important element is mercy of the devotee of Lord. Only devotee of Lord can take you and connect to Krishna. But how this particular point, that whose sinful actions are completely eradicated. So what exactly that means? We talked about purity. Why we talked about purity? What purity does? Purity actually attracts the mercy. If you attract the mercy, then automatically you will be taken to Krishna. The mercy is the only thing which will take us to Krishna. Now we saw, I think last week, most of you were there, so we had an initiation ceremony last week, and there are two or four devotees, two couples, so Sunil Krishna Prabhu and Sunil Shyam Prabhu, sorry. Yeah, he always corrects me. I am always saying Sunil Krishna, and Krishna always says Sunil Shyam Prabhu. So Sunil Shyam Prabhu and I forgot Mataji's name. Jyotirmati Radhika Devidas Mataji. Radhika Mataji. Jyotirmati. Then Guru Maharaj corrected that. Jyotirmati. And then Sudhakar Krishna Prabhu. Okay, here. And Mataji used Gita or Gita? Guru, you listen? Guru Maharaj, what Guru Maharaj said? Gita or Gita? Is it Gita Kirti? Because I was having the doubt. That's the reason I was asking. Maybe you remember? It is Gita Kirti. Gita Kirti. I can. Yeah, Gita, because it makes more sense, Gita Kirti, but spelling wise we wanted. So you can hear, I think Shyamalila Mataji, Sudha Mataji was recording. So you can hear again, just to make sure. So Gita Kirti, Radhika Mataji. So these are the four initiated. And there you can see the mercy flowing directly. Because it is not that we are qualified so that we are getting this initiation. It is actually coming from up to down. That means that mercy is coming, that hand is coming and pulling us up. So that is very, very important to understand. We should do what we should do. We should surrender. What we should do, we should be ready. And when mercy comes, it is like it's knocking on your door. You should be ready. So what we can do, we can be prepared. We can be prepared to surrender. We can be prepared to give our life. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean that you leave everything and go. Guru Maharaj didn't like ask that, or even Prabhupada didn't ask that. So you take vow of 16 rounds, vow of following 4 regular principles. And then that will put you in a platform where you will be able to attract the mercy. And this is very important. We saw in the case of Sudhakar Krishna Prabhu and Mataji's case, right? It was not decided. It was not, nobody's mind it was there that it will happen, but the mercy just came. That is what the mercy comes that way. Nobody can stop if it is coming. So only thing is we should just with folded hands, we should be ready to surrender. So I would ask them. Maybe you can talk couple of minutes. What you feel? Did you saw that the mercy is coming? What you felt? What you felt? Maybe Sudhakar Krishna Prabhu first. Today we have a little problem. Yeah. So only one mic is working. One mic is working. Yeah. Maybe you can give this mic.
Hare Krishna, this is Sudhakar Krishnadas. Earlier I used to go in all directions. Now I have one person to listen to, so that really helps me out. So I've been trying to listen only to Guru Maharaj's lectures online. And also I see some difference. I don't know what the difference quite is, but there is definitely some difference in my devotional life in the last 1 week. I'm trying to understand what that is. There is some difference in the last 1 week. I can't quantify it, but there is some difference. I can observe. I can observe.
I see a lot of improvement in the quality of my chanting. Earlier I was not able to focus. I won't say it's 100% focus, but it has increased manifold from earlier and now. In the morning, usually after my Prabhuji leaves for work, I used to call India, talk for 2-3 hours, just waste my time. Now I don't feel like doing that. I just feel like going and doing Aarti, doing some deity worship. In my Prabhu, there's a lot of positive change. He listened to Guru Maharaj, and in one of the lectures he mentioned we should not get angry and upset. So he stopped screaming. He stopped. So he became very, very calm and nice. So I think that's a very positive change. I'm very happy that my Prabhuji is finally convinced. Now he stopped reading other books. He stopped doubting everything. So whatever Guru Maharaj says, he accepts it as a fact. So that's a very nice thing. I'm so happy about it.
Hare Krishna. So I see a lot of change in the chanting. I mean, it's much better than in the previous. But I do feel that now I am the global member of a global family. So that gives me a lot of support. So we have a lot of devotees, a lot of things to learn. And when I met many devotees, they used to tell many stories. That really gets me inspired in many ways. So many devotees are doing a lot of service and a lot of chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita day, morning and evening. That really inspires me. So probably I'm thinking to be systematic more in terms of reading Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So as Guru Maharaj said, first priority is chanting and reading books. Second is service. So I'm just thinking, shift the focus on the reading and chanting. All glories to you, Prabhu, for giving us a lot of mercy. So without your mercy, we could not able to get into that stage. It's like a rebirth kind of thing. So thinking, so it's like a rebirth, and it's always a different experience. So I felt that's a different experience. So the experience is that okay, something is taken away, something is going to come. Coming is nothing but mercy in the form of mercy. So it's more I want to be involved more and more in the chanting and Krishna. That's what I thought.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. The first thing I noticed is like my chanting definitely has improved a lot compared to previously. Now, even if I'm chanting in the train, I could chant it more focusedly. That's something which I really noticed. And the other things, like small symptoms which I noticed, like I felt like Krishna is always next to me, like in every walk of life. That's something like I was feeling it like last 1 week which I was experiencing. Even if I look at a picture, I feel like they are smiling at me. I don't know, maybe it's just my feeling, but like it's the same picture I used to see before, and now I see like they're actually looking at me. I don't know if it's a conception or like maybe just I'm imagining it, but like that's how I feel. To tell another thing is like while I was driving, like while I was coming back from the initiation, I was asking a lot of questions to Dattatreya Prabhu. Like he was answering all my questions he was asking. And after that, like I felt like so calm and quiet. Like maybe like all my questions, like I had like too many questions before that, and like the way Prabhu was clearing, somehow I felt like after that when Prabhu asked like, do you have any more questions? I said like I'm good now. So I feel much lighter in the sense like
biggest component was Srila Prabhupada, and we discussed about Srila Prabhupada last time. How merciful he is, that he is coming all the way from Vrindavan, from Radha Damodar temple, next to Rupa Goswami Samadhi. From there, he came to New York, just to connect all of us to Krishna. Okay. Now 29 and 30 was that is where we stopped. So I will quickly read this to together. Please repeat after me. Jara Marana Mokshaya Mama Ashritya Yatanti Te Ye Te Brahma Tada Viduha Krishtan Te Brahma Tada Vidhu Krishtam Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Intelligent persons who are enduring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. So just to connect with what we were discussing, we discussed about Punyatma, which is Prabhupada connecting everybody to. But there are other devotees also who are actually a mixed kind of things. That is what is covered in 29 and 30. Right? They have mixed intention. So 29 is saying intelligent persons who are enduring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. So they are not completely doing bhakti, but they want to get rid of old age and disease or death. Sorry. So they are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Now 30th, please repeat after me. Sadhibhutadi daivam mam Sadhiyagyam chaye viduha Prayana kale picha ma Prayana kale picha ma Te vidur yukta chetasaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. So very important points in both these verses are mentioned. This is actually building the next chapter. This chapter is says knowledge of the Absolute. So once you have the knowledge, what you will do next? Once you know how to go, what you will do? What you will go? What will you do? Apply the knowledge to go, right? Krishna, you have to go up backside if you want to play like that, not in front. Both of you guys. So chapter 8 says attaining the Supreme. So attaining the final goal. So 7th is giving knowledge, 8th is actually telling attaining the Supreme. So if you see if you see the last two verses, okay, there are 6 concepts Krishna has raised here. 6 concepts. In the text, in the verse 29, there are 3 concepts, 3 words were introduced. So what are those words? Yes, that is one, correct. So if you see the Sanskrit verse, you will see Te Brahma, Brahma, right? Then Adhyatma and Karma. So in the last word, the last part of the verse, Te Brahma Tada Viduhu Krutsan Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam. So there are 3 things which were introduced here. One was Brahma or Brahman. Second was Adhyatma, this is transcendental, and the third is karma. What is karma? Activities. These are the three concepts newly introduced. And then next verse, if you see, there are three more are given here, right? One is adhibhuta, sadhibhuta. If you see, sadhibhuta is what? Yeah, governing principles of material manifestation. So material manifestation, which is adhibhuta. Then adideva. What is adideva? Demigods. And the third is adhiyagya. Adhiyagya is correct, right? So these are the three. So totally six. We'll repeat again. What were that? Brahma, which is Brahman. Then Adhyatmik or Adhyatma, and Karma. Then Adhibhuta, which is Adhideva, Adhiyagya. Six concepts were introduced. Now, obviously, Arjuna is inquisitive. Arjuna is taking a role of the surrendered devotees. So he wants to know more so that he can follow properly. We want to put the charge, otherwise it will go. So now chapter 8 starts with this question. So we'll quickly start chapter 8. Attaining the Supreme. Arjuna uvacha kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama adhibhutam cha kim proktam adhidaivam kim uchyate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the Self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Anybody wants to read the purport? Points mentioned. One is all these questions. So in this chapter, all these questions will be answered. And then Krishna was mentioned as Purushottam, the best of the best of all. So only he can answer everything. That's the reason Purushottam. Now second verse is also important because more questions are asking. So let's cover second question. Please repeat after me. Adhiyagya katham kotra Dehesmin madhusudana prayana kale cha katham genosi niyatadmibhi Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Who is the Lord of sacrifice? And how does he live in the body, O Madhusudan? And how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? So very, very important questions. All these questions are very important. That's the reason this chapter, all these chapters are very, very important. Because this will clear many doubts. Now if you see the questions are raised, are so powerful questions. And Krishna is going to answer this, all questions. Most of the question he will answer in next couple of verses. And the last question, right, which will be remainder of the chapter. See, the whole process is a question answer. That's the reason if you attended the retreat, that time Guru Maharaj also mentioned that this whole thing is a question answer session. That's the reason he was keeping almost 1 hour for question answer at the end. Even if you see Srimad Bhagavatam, it started with the question. Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita also, Arjuna is asking question and Krishna is giving answer. So same thing. We also, if you have any doubts, submissively we should ask and get the answer. Because unless we clear our doubts, the doubts will basically create hurdles on us. It's very dangerous we thinking, oh, chalta hai, or it's okay, even if I don't know, it's okay. You will keep that in the back of your mind. It will come and create issues in your devotional service. So it's very important you ask the question, get the clarity. So now if you see the questions, the 6 things which were introduced in last chapter were asked here. But additionally there were 2 more questions were asked. So in the first verse, if you think, Arjuna is asking, what is Brahman? What is self? Basically self is, we talked about Atma there. Then what are fruitive activities, which is karma? So these are the first 3 questions. Then he's asking, what is the material manifestation, which is Adibhuta, which is the 4th one. Then he's asking, what are the demigods, which is Adidaiva in the previous chapter. And then he's going to the next verse. He's saying, who is the Lord of sacrifice? So Adi Yagya. Then he is asking 2 more questions. What are those? How does he live in the body? So the Lord of sacrifice, how does he live in the body? And then very important question, right? And he is actually doing a favor of all of us asking this question, because every time or many times we heard this, right? That at the time of death, whatever you are thinking, that you will get as the next body. Right? Now he's saying, how can those engaged in devotional serving know you at the time of death? So very important question he is asking, and Krishna is going to explain this in next verses. So we'll stop here. Any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Very nice question. Actually, see, the living entity's freedom or free will is also under the control of everything around. So what does that mean? Let's take an example. Okay? You work in a company, and then the upper management knows about next 5 years, next 7 years, what they are planning. And in ideal scenario, if everything goes right, then whatever they are planning, whatever vision they have, will happen. But how it will happen, right? If all the managers under that also have the free will to do whatever they want to do. So that vision is already clear. That vision is already there, and in that everybody has a play. So let's give another example. I don't know whether this will help, right? See, for next 10,000 years, Srila Prabhupada is the Acharya on this planet. Right? Next 10,000 years, Mahaprabhu said every town and village will take his name will be taken in every town and village. So this is already seen by Mahaprabhu. Now, how it will happen if everybody has a free will? So that is going to happen. The free will what you have, whether you want to be part of it or you go away from it. You understand? So that is already decided. Now only free will what we have, whether we will be helping or participating, assisting in that, or we will be rejecting it. If we don't do it, somebody else will do it. If we do it, we will get benefit. So same thing, like that. It's decided, whatever is there. So major portions are decided. Yes, correct. Variations. But I had read a very nice article by one of the senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada. I forgot Prabhu's name. It will come. You know, Philadelphia Temple president. I forgot his name. Very, very learned person. So he has written this article. Very nice article, right? He has written. Even Krishna can change his mind. So even Krishna can change his mind. So what we say, right? He already pre-decided, but he can also change because he is a person. So he will also change those major portions. That is just to satisfy. So even his words he has changed. That is what he's saying. I am just trying to remember Prabhu's name. It will come. So is it clear? Thank you. Yes? Yeah, King Pratap Rudra. Yeah, very good. Yeah, actually, this was what I was telling is in the future things also he can change. And yes, Ravindra Swarup Prabhu. So Ravindra Swarup Prabhu has given an example of Russia. He gave an example of Russia. So he gave, it's very interesting how how merciful devotees are. They're thinking and they're actually sharing with us. So Prabhupada many times mentioned that the Third World War will happen. And definitely, they were very close during that time. In the Cold World War, it was happening. And then it didn't happen. Then devotees asked that, and that time, if you remember, Cold World War is US and Russia, they were actually prepared to do this anytime. And they were this close to do. And then devotees asked, Prabhupada, you said that it will happen anytime, and it didn't happen. Prabhupada said Krishna changed his mind. This is what Prabhupada said. And then on that, Ravindra Swarup Prabhu has wrote this article. He said, I agree with that, because if you see what is happening in Russia today, right? Krishna actually recognized and gave chance to all the souls to participate in Krishna consciousness. In Russia, actually, it is booming like anything. In fact, Ravindra Swarup Prabhu shared one incident. What devotees were doing there, they were actually in the farm or some other places where they were practicing everything, because they were not able to practice Krishna consciousness openly in Soviet Union before. So they were practicing, and they were actually supplying their fruits, vegetables, everything to the soldiers and big officers in Russia. All those were actually offered things which they were supplying to everybody. So all consciousness was getting changed because of this. And if you see, if you go to Mayapur during the Yatra time, or if you go to Vrindavan, you will see 1,000-2,000 Russian devotees just to participate in Mayapur, participate in Padayatra. So it's booming like anything. So what I meant is that whole thing was changed, and then Krishna consciousness actually gave Krishna to change that. Ananta Sheshpur. Yeah, Ananta Sheshpur. Yeah. You should read, there is one drama also, just to continue. That you should read, you should see the drama. I don't know whether it is available in, but there is a book also. I don't remember. This is Dry Breads, something like that, the name of that. Basically what they used to do, they used to create a bead, chanting bead out of dry bread. Devotees were in prison because how to chant. So they used to, from the dry bread, they used to create and use that for their chanting. They went through lot to actually continue. For us it is very easy. For follow Krishna consciousness, they went through lot. Yeah, actually your question itself has the answer. Why it is happening? It is, devotee should understand this is happening to me because of my karmic reaction, because of my karma, because of my past deeds. That we should understand. And we discussed about this a few times as that, but that shouldn't stop our Krishna consciousness, our practice, our devotional service. We should take that as a testing period, as opportunity, rather than for us to pull back. The opportunity to improve. Yeah, it was testing times. They went through it. They actually become much more powerful sadhakas to do this. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. But you have to surrender. The amount of surrender you do, that amount of purity you will get. If we hold everything and just sit there on the fire sacrifice, it is not going to pure us. Amount of surrender we do it. Prarabdha karma is actually something we have done, but which is not, which is manifested already. Prarabdha which is happening. Somebody, say for example, did say a thief. He, he went somewhere and he wants to do, break the house and get something. So police comes and catches him. That is prarabdha karma. That is immediate reaction. But aprarabdha is also there. So whenever there is a sin, there is a prarabdha and aprarabdha. Aprarabdha, what happens? That feeling of doing more of such thing will be there. And that will manifest again in future. It's like a seed which will fructify in future. That is aprarabdha. Yes, prarabdha problem. The slate is clean if we are surrendered. Yes, actually, if there are major issues, then yes, we suffer. That's the reason there were question asked to Srila Prabhupada. This question was asked to Srila Prabhupada that, so Prabhupada, why you are initiating so much? So said, our mission is to propagate Krishna consciousness. So I have to do. If I suffer, that's okay. Their health mostly. Mostly their health. Yeah, mostly their health. Okay? Everything is okay? Yes. Actually, it is parted from us. Right? It is parted from us. So during that process, there is a possibility that Guru Maharaj can also take that come. So now it is our duty, even our what we have connection now. Let's take a simple example. If there is a school, right? If some kid in the school does something wrong, what everybody will blame? Everybody will blame on the principal or the school teacher. Same thing here. After taking initiation, if we do something which will be directly impacting, say on certain level, it will be impacting the Guru. So we have to be very conscious. We have to be very careful. Okay? Any other questions? There are no questions, Mohit Prabhu? You're tired? When did you come? When did you come? Oh, didn't come. So you may be more tired than here. I was just joking. Yeah. So we'll do one round of chanting. So please give the beads. Sorry, it's late. I was planning to wrap up quickly. Yeah, any questions? No questions are there in the chat window. That's a problem. Krishna, my one is either like not on the front. Okay, so we'll start chanting.